Hello, and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
And help me with the eyes. This week we recommend Trick or Treat.
Sure.
Not Trick or Treat, Trick or
Yeah,
Treat.
I was confused.
You got to make sure you get it right. There's a different movie that's Trick or Treat. So, Jason, I love this movie.
Yeah, this movie was fun. It's like a great Halloween movie.
It's a perfect Halloween movie.
There's so much going on.
It's like, I remember seeing this because I never heard about it. And then I just saw it at Hastings, I believe. I think that's the first time I watched it. It was at Hastings. I know. God, rip. I love that place. So, like, I just saw the cover. Like, it has Sam, the little...
Is that the little boy?
Little boy.
Goblin boy?
Little
Sack face?
Pumpkin man. Pumpkin boy. And I was like, ooh, this looks scary. So I rented it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's an anthology film. Everything's tied together. It's about Halloween, the best day on the planet. It's got everything.
It's all the bad things your parents scared you about when you were a kid.
Pumpkin boys. It's got zombies. It's got
Vampires.
Werewolves. Vampires.
Werewolves.
Scary principals. Weird teachers. And kids in danger.
Lots of dead kids.
Best thing about Halloween, kids being in danger. So this was your first time watching it, huh?
It is, yeah. Never heard of it.
Man.
But, yeah, maybe just took me back to my parents telling me to check my candy.
Yeah. I don't think my parents ever told me to check my candy. They're like, just go for it, kid.
One time, I'm glad they did. One time I found a bunch of prescription medication in mine.
Are you serious?
Yeah, just loose pills all over the place.
Oh, my God. Why?
I don't know.
Do you think they just accidentally dropped it in? It's like, oh, crap.
Yeah, maybe they were like about to take their meds and they're like, oh, shit, trick-or-treaters.
The doorbell rang and then like she just like, they jump. Oh, no. It's like an infomercial. Just pills everywhere.
Tired of giving kids your medications.
Apply now directly to the forehead. Yeah, so this is a cult film.
Yeah, it is
a
pretty
cult
cool.
hit. Another one. We're back to the cult hits.
Cults.
Jason. Nobody watched this. So this was a movie that was supposed to come out in theaters like in 2007 or 5 and then came out like 2 years later just on DVD.
Dang, what happened?
I don't know. I'm just assuming producers was like, I don't get it.
I think the world wasn't ready for a bunch of dead kids.
Well, I mean, it's 2000s, but it's like we're not. Like, now everybody's a freak. Back then, only like half the world was a freak about Halloween. Now everybody loves it, unless you're a crazy person. It's like, how do you not like trick or treat Halloween?
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love that they made the villain the principal.
Yeah, right. He's like one of the main villains. It's like, yeah, what's worse to a kid than a principal, right?
Razor blades in your candy? Maybe?
That's true. Yeah. I want to know, do you have any crazy trick or treating stories?
I mean, I found the medications. I think that's the craziest thing that happened.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't think you have to even say anything more.
I know this one lady gave me emptied out her penny jar in my candy sack.
What?
Yeah, she gave me like 100 pennies. And it made my bag so heavy.
Hey, kid, I think you need some money. You seem a little poor. It's like, no, ma'am, it's just a costume.
You could just not answer the door, lady.
Yeah, it's like... So you didn't have to give a whole jar of pennies. You could have just gave a few pennies or something.
It was so heavy.
Just give her like 4 or 5 quarters up. Like,
it was more than $1 worth because it was just like hundreds of them. Oh, man.
You're just like backing up, just trying to drag this huge like 20-pound bag of like very little candy and a ton of pennies.
Yeah. It made my little pumpkin pail so daggum heavy.
Yeah. I guess I don't really have anything super interesting. There was one, it was me and my friend back in the day, whenever I was growing up in elementary school. We were like in Pee-wee football, so we just went as us as football players. And like we're walking around in this area, like the parents just dropped us off in this neighborhood area and it's like, all right, y'all go walk around. We'll just we'll be kind of moseying about in our cars, and there was a guy dressed up as Michael Myers,
Oh, dang.
and he was acting like Michael Myers,
Yeah, that's
just
cool.
walking straight. It's like I remember us being like, "So that man, that's cool. But are we in danger?" It's like he's doing a really good job, and it's like when does someone just playing around turn into actually? What if I did just kill somebody? And then there was this other time. It was me and my cousin, and our parents would just kind of drop us off at houses. They had the craziest house. So it's this log cabin looking house, and it was huge. And they were performers for
Nice.
kids, I guess,
That's cool.
because we'd go in, and so we knock on the door to say trick or treat, but there was already two people out. We didn't know if they're real or not, and they're standing in yellow rain jackets and pig masks.
Oh, man.
Right, and those masks look great, or at least right now in my head as a kid, I thought they were real pigs. Okay,
Yeah.
it was probably just cheap plastic mask. And then when we knocked on the door to trick or treat, and one person came out and two other people came out, all yellow raincoats and pig masks on.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. One person had a bowl of candy,
Oink, oink, motherfucker.
and we picked it up, and then we walked off, and that was it. They didn't try to scare us. It was all just like aesthetically unnerving.
That's great.
Something about people being in pig masks.
It's
I don't know.
terrifying. I will say that being in the military and living on a military base.
Did you go
That
trick or treating in Afghanistan?
No. No. But on the base, and we were in Kansas at the time, but like this mixture of bunch of kids walking around unsupervised. A lot of them were, but some of them weren't. And then a bunch of military guys who were kind of fucked up in the head. So they're like dudes who dress up as clowns and just walk around it with like a toy machete,
Yeah.
just up and down their block, and just scaring the shit out of kids. But there was also, on the other end, there were great costumes. Like there's one guy was Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was the best costume I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It was incredible. Head to toe. Like, it was awesome.
Is Rocksteady the
Rhino?
Rhino, okay.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Dude, that's wild. Yeah, just a bunch of just soldiers messed up, just like, kids.
Hey, you want to scare some kids? Yeah, sure.
It's like, sure. I need the adrenaline.
We all love making kids miserable here.
It is very fun. Scaring kids. Just watching Instagram reels, there's nothing better than just parents randomly scaring kids.
Oh, I love the thing where they put like a scarecrow on the front porch, but it's really a dude.
Oh, there is one reel where there's this a guy on the porch, and he's in a Ghostface mask from Scream.
Oh, sweet.
And so the kid's walking up, and the kid's scared, and the mom's like, just go, it's gonna be all fine. And then the kid walks up to get some candy, and the person in the rocking chair is completely still.
Yeah.
And so the parents kind of seems unsettled and stops filming the kid and just films the ghost face. And then the ghost face slowly turns his head, and the mom's then the video ends. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
I love videos like that. And I think what's one of the late night guys? Jimmy Kimmel. He always did the classic videos where he's like, tell your kids that you ate all the candy. And they just break down and cry. It's so awful.
No.
I know. It's like, God, what a terrible thing to do.
That's awesome. Oh, God.
So, writer and director Michael Dougherty.
Dougherty. I think it's Dougherty.
Yeah, I won't say his name anymore just because I don't want to have to keep trying to re-say that. His original idea for the film was it for it to be an anthology of stories that had no direct connections. Tales that he envisioned would be directed by different horror filmmakers. The development executives weren't so keen on the idea, which prompted him to repackage the concept, deciding to connect all the individual stories into one seamless narrative. After years of working on the story, he also decided he didn't want other filmmakers to bring his vision to life, feeling that his passion for the project made him the perfect person to direct the film.
Sweet.
It's awesome. There is a ton of anthology horror movies and even Halloween ones, and it's just if you have a good director, it's great. If they just that one director does all of them, and because we watched a couple last night actually, like the new VHS 85 and Scare Package 2. They're just anthology horror films. The VHS, they're all uh, what is it? Found footage esque type of
That's cool.
things. They all kind of were like, there'd be like one that was all right, and the other one that was like, oh, this one sucks. So it's like, I really like that he directed the whole thing, because otherwise, who knows? It could just be like good, bad, bad, good, bad. So it's great. And then this director ends up going on to do things Krampus,
Hell yeah.
movie Rules,
Movie rules.
Godzilla, King of Monsters. Did you watch that
Wait,
one?
like
That was the sequel to Godzilla, the new one,
Oh.
the newer one.
No, I never saw the sequel.
And it's the one before Kong versus Godzilla. Or Godzilla versus Kong. Man, you haven't seen that one? It's pretty good. There's too many
I
humans.
gotta get caught up on my kaiju.
The human stuff is a little rough in the second one. But so it was actor Brian Cox. He plays the old man, Mr. Kreeg.
Yeah,
Kreeg.
Krieg, maybe.
So Brian Cox of Succession fame
Oh, I
and
haven't seen
a
Succession.
bunch of other stuff. He's just in a
Sorry.
ton of stuff. Manhunter. He was the first Hannibal. And so he came up with the look for his character, taking initial inspiration from old rockers like Jerry Garcia, David Crosby, and the
Nice.
biggest inspiration was
dude.
John Carpenter,
Oh.
the Halloween director. I was like, oh, I can see that.
I thought he looked like the Big Lebowski.
He did a little like older Big
Just-
Lebowski, yeah, walking around in a robe.
Yeah. And I loved his dog.
Just has no chill though. Yeah, and he
His-
puts a little eyes on it.
Yeah, it's
so
like
cute.
Frankenweenie.
I know. We might have something that aged the worst in that little section of the thing. Poor doggo.
Uh,
So here's the stuff where I was talking about earlier. The film was originally supposed to be released in 2007, but that never happened. There have been multiple rumors surrounding why the film was never released in theaters, but the most prevalent one was that the film would have been competing with Saw 4. And Warner Brothers made a couple more attempts over the next 2 years to try to release it in theaters, but eventually just went straight to DVD. So
Terrible.
thanks a lot, Saw.
does that track? Did Saw 4 really? Would it
Make a lot of money.
Would it have blown this one out of the water? do you
Yes,
think?
it definitely would have. People love those Saw movies. I think after 4, it starts getting they start making less and less money.
Oh,
But I don't know. I just don't think anybody would want to see it. They'd be like, I don't know who the director is. I don't know. It's 2007 though,
yeah. I feel like
People went
they
to the
coulda
movies back
just-
then.
Yeah, they could have just still released it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
they should have. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to go because
They
I've been
dropped
too
the
young.
ball on it. Like
Yeah.
done.
Exactly. So the film was based off a short film.
An even shorter film.
Yes. I know, it's like an hour and 19 minutes without the credits.
Which I loved.
Yeah, that was the best part. Not really. Though there is nothing better than getting a shorter movie for the podcast. 'Cause it's like, I can watch this and then really quickly watch this and take notes.
Yeah.
It's almost the same length as Everything Everywhere All at Once and like Starship Troopers if I did that.
Yeah.
So the short film was called Season Greetings and centered
that's nice.
on the character of Sam. Sam is the lovable little monster child of Halloween that simply wants to play. This is a true short film and features a clever plot twist where Sam is followed by a suspicious person on Halloween night. As Sam goes into a dark alley, the suspicious figure follows and is then beaten to a pulp by Sam.
Oh shit.
The film captures the side of Sam, but differs in the fact that his face is eventually revealed. The director made the short film much earlier, back in 1996. So it's essentially what what's her name? The werewolf girl, Lori. I'm assuming it's like that, but instead of it being her, it's Sam and the vampire guy's following him. I'm assuming
Oh, okay.
probably similar to that. What's her name?
So-
Anna Paquin.
But they're like, how can we make werewolves better? I know, make them naked teenagers.
Well, I think they're adults. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. So it had different titles. The original 1996 short was Season Greetings.
Which
it,
sounds like a
it sounds more Christmassy, right?
yeah, it does kind of sound like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, right, exactly. The director said he wanted to keep the same title, but as the studio got more involved, the title cycled through options like Halloween Terrors and jack-o'-lantern tales before landing on Trick or Treat, which is the way better name.
Yeah.
I know. The movie Halloween has to just upset so many people because everybody's like, my movie would be perfect if it could just call it Halloween, but there's already the biggest movie ever. So there was no pumpkins were harmed in the making of this movie.
Bull crap. I saw that girl kicked one into the lake.
Nope. So the pumpkins, so they didn't have anybody like making pumpkins, and they just had people, they're all plastics and ceramics.
Oh.
So none of them were actually pumpkins.
Lame.
Because they had to make like hundreds of them, which would have been very frustrating to carve hundreds of pumpkins.
And sticky.
Because I love carving pumpkins. Do you?
I do enjoy carving pumpkins.
But
probably not as much as you.
Once I get like 20 minutes in, it just depends how much gunk is in the thing. Because I got about like 20 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, dude, can someone just finish this pumpkin for me? It's always super fun, and then it's like, I couldn't imagine doing like 100 of them.
Oh, God.
Though I do love carving pumpkins at the same time. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's the inner turmoil.
Like if somebody else would take the goop out, then maybe I could do
that. Would be the best.
Several more.
Yeah, the goop is the worst part. And it like never all comes out. And it's like, God, how long have I been just trying to get goop out of this thing? Call Gwyneth Paltrow to come get this goop.
get one of her
vagina candles.
Yeah,
this is my vagina pumpkin.
It's just...
It is an exact replica and smells just like my vagina.
You just carve a vagina into the pumpkin?
Yeah.
And scare away all the nerds.
Right. Suck it, nerds. So Trick or Treat developed a massive cult following, and the director took note of it. So he decided to put together a sequel in the form of a graphic comic book series. And it continues to follow the character Sam. This is similar to the original idea of the first film. It's an anthology of 4 stories. According to the director, a second film based on this graphic novel is on the way. He said, this is a sequel which is definitely being made because of fan demand and because of word of mouth, which has been building for years. It's not a sequel that's just being rushed out because the movie had a big opening weekend. This is a sequel that people actually want, which I think is a rarity. I'm just eternally grateful for the fans for the constant support. The sequel is still listed as in development, so there's no telling when it will actually come out. Yeah, I can't wait. I was actually looking that up before I watched the movie for the first time again, and I just want a sequel. I mean, I'm kind of scared at the same time because, but at least it seems like he has an idea, which would be nice.
That's cool.
It's like I want more. I want more werewolves.
I do too.
I like werewolves. Werewolves are cool.
Werewolf.
Hey, werewolf. I feel really dumb.
The werewolves were kind of dumb, like the puppets that they use.
Don't you talk about them that way. They ruled. It's the best dang scene in the dang movie.
They definitely didn't hire anyone good at puppets to do those.
I like that they're a little goofy, okay? Werewolves are supposed to look goofy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make sense anatomically. All right, you got anything else you want to say? You want to hop right into the film?
Let's go.
Let's go. The film opens with an old-timey Halloween PSA. I'm going to stop doing this voice now. It's like, never go out alone. Check your candy. I always forget it started out like that. And it's like so brief. It's like, we didn't really need it. So the film opens with a couple coming home from a Halloween party. Got a woman who is upset. She's like, we just need to go inside and take all this stuff down because we're too lit.
Yeah, Halloween.
She wants to blow out a pumpkin. He says, leave it. It's an ancient tradition.
She starts taking out all the decorations.
Yeah, there's like someone across the street watching. We're getting their point of view of it. And they blow out the camera and the point of view is like, and it's like very childlike. I wonder why. I bet it's a child. The guy wants to have sex, but the girl's like, no, we're taking down the decorations. We have to do it now.
Oh, lame.
And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? It's Halloween night.
I don't know.
Y'all are drunk or high. Both.
They don't really seem
possibly.
like either.
Yeah,
like the husband,
they really
maybe.
didn't. Yeah, the husband definitely seemed a little out of it. And it's like, you're just going to sleep in like all day tomorrow. It's like, What are you, lady? What are you talking? That you got like 3 hours of work there. You want to do it right now after a night out? Just do it over the week.
That's a terrible idea.
But yeah, he's like, ooh, maybe we can go up to the bedroom and put on the tape.
The tape.
And she's like, no. He starts pouting. She's like, okay, go upstairs. I'll be up soon. She says she hates Halloween and begins to take down Halloween decorations. And there's like this weird guy across the street just staring at her. And you're like, oh no, it's gonna kill her. And then it's just some guy who gets in his car, just staring at her for some reason. You know, for a girl that doesn't seem to like Halloween that much, went all out
They did
for
some
Halloween.
really great decorations.
I'm assuming the guy put it all out. I don't know. I mean, she had to do a little bit. He doesn't seem like he seems like a classic lazy guy, you know? It's like, oh yeah, I really want to do it, but I don't have the energy.
Yeah, she
so
had
you
the
do it.
idea.
So she's starting to put things in some boxes, and all of a sudden something jumps out and attacks her. But her guy is upstairs, put on a nature show, which is actually porn. And he hears screaming, and he's like, huh? But it's like, oh, it must have just been the TV, the porn.
Must have been just
the girl screaming on TV. And like she's getting attacked inside this blanket, little ghost blanket thing, and she gets killed by a lollipop. Guy wakes up hours later. Go ahead.
Sam got her.
Sam got her. Yep.
Dang.
Guy wakes up hours later to find his wife. He removes a ghost blanket that reveals her head cut off and put on like this little thing that they're hanging ghosts on with the lollipop in her mouth. And I bet we don't see that lollipop later.
And he's like, what a relief.
It's like,
all right, fellas.
Maybe I'll get a girl that'll like Halloween and have sex with me. I just transported from the 1930s. Come on, Toots. Let's watch a nature documentary.
Oh, God.
So, and then we cut to the comic book intro showing everything to come.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which the thing is, after rewatching it this time, it's like, oh, wait, is this based on a comic book? It's not. I was like, oh, okay. That's just kind of a random thing. It's like if it came out in 2007, it'd be a little ahead of time. Yeah. But then maybe he just really likes comic books. I don't know. I should have looked that up. So then we see this kid dragging a bag of candy through this town. The bag looks gross. And it's like, just pick it up, you kid.
Because you know it's going to get snagged on
I know.
a pebble and just start spilling all over the place.
And then all these drunk people are going to be like, my candy.
Ooh.
So while this kid is walking through all the town, we see characters we're going to see later. We see the principal. We see the 4 werewolf girls, which is really cool, and I love it. And then we get a title card that says earlier, and a narration done by a local news channel. It says that like people ascended on this usually sleepy town of Warren Valley, Ohio, where tradition takes place and everybody takes it very seriously. Man, like how cool would it be like if we lived in a town that did this, right?
That would be cool.
Seems like everybody just got Halloween parades and everything.
I know.
We don't really do that.
Around here, it's just like certain neighborhoods kind of go all out.
Yeah. And it's like, I would love just like in the town square, just have a giant parade for Halloween.
That'd be sick. They do have like the town square, like trick or treat thing, but it's kind of lame.
Yeah. It's like, we always have a like Halloween or a Christmas parade. It's like, where's our Halloween parade? I mean, like the hospital could go all out. Just have surgeons with blood all over them. It'd be so great.
You know what always bothered me is that every year KFC puts up like skeletons on their windows. Why not put chicken skeletons?
It makes no sense. I literally drove by KFC the other day and I was like, you got no dead chickens out here. It makes no sense.
Well, I will say that like chicken skeletons are kind of terrifying. So maybe they just don't want to
I've actually never seen a chicken skeleton. Be like, ooh, I actually don't like to see what I'm eating.
Skeleton birds are
they should be real
scarier than like human skeletons.
Rotten chicken everywhere. Make it really terrible.
Gross.
Go all out
just
KFC.
Not healthy at all.
I mean, the mascot's already a ridiculous character, so
they're like, come get your salmonella.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
The true horror, we didn't cook your chicken all the way. No.
Heart disease is a thing.
Yeah. So we're in a costume shop. We have a kid who's listening in on these girls kind of vulgarly talking. He's looking through, see the girls changing. The girls are talking about trying to
Ew.
find guys for the night. They're all dressed up as classic fairy tale characters. We got Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood. I guess the blonde girl's supposed to be Cinderella, and one of them's supposed to be Sleeping Beauty, I'm assuming.
Sure.
Yeah. So we meet Lori, who's played by Anna Paquin. She hates her costumes. I look like I'm 5.
How am I ever going to get a guy? Hey, you know what? Guys aren't that hard.
Yeah.
To
You're
get.
Anna Paquin. It just won't be that hard, probably. And then, like, her sister or just friend, the blonde girl, I think her name's Danielle. She's checking out and just picks up this guy by saying, "Hey, you can come out?" Okay.
Yeah, it's that
That's
easy.
pretty much all he said. He's like, "Oh, yeah, can I bring my cool elf ears?" Then we cut to, we see a kid whose name is Charlie. He's played by the bad Santa boy.
Oh, yeah.
He's smashing pumpkin and he goes to a house and there's this candy bowl that says, "Please just take one." He just grabs a full thing, just starts dumping the whole thing out in his thing. And then the character says, "That can't be good for your diabetes, Charlie."
Oh.
Kid's trying to come up with a lie. Says, "Don't waste a good lie on this." I was like, that's such a good line. And then he tells him to take a seat. And then we go back to the girls. They are telling Lori she needs to relax. They say it's so obvious she's a virgin.
Oh, man.
And then the other 2 girls pick up 2 more guys pretty easily. They're just like, the guys almost seem kind of taken aback. Like, this isn't normal. Hey, guys, you probably shouldn't go. Why are these 2 girls just walking up to you randomly while you're picking things up and saying, "Hey, you want to go potentially have sex later?" That's insane. Just saying. So how long did it take you into this film to realize that they're werewolves?
Until their skin started falling off. I
Okay.
think.
Because now if you rewatch it, it's so obvious. It's like, oh, yeah. Especially a little later when we're in the middle of the 5 little kids going down to the quarry.
Oh, okay.
When they're like, you hear wolves and it's like, oh, werewolves. And it's like, oh, it's so obvious. Why did I not realize it?
Because the wolves are like, "Oh," or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that's exactly how they howled, actually. That was really good, Jason. That was 5 stars howling. Wow. You should do voiceover work for werewolves. So then we cut back to the kid, and we got the older man who we will later come to know as Steven, or Principal Stevens. They're sitting on the steps, and he starts carving a pumpkin in front of them. He's like, there's really jarring knife movements, and the kid's freaking out, scaring them. He explains that pumpkins protect them. He says that he continues to talk about tradition. The kid is eating candy that he gave him and then starts throwing up.
Ugh,
And he's like, there's another tradition that you should live by. Never forget to check your candy.
Or
Kid just throws up blood and chocolate all over the place.
So
It's so gross and great. There's so much of it.
Oh.
And then he's trying to bring him inside, and as he's like a really chubby kid, so he's having a hard time. Every time he like puts more pressure on him, he just squirts out more vomit.
No, it's all over his shirt.
And it gets all over him. It's so funny. I don't know where he hit him, but and he gets trick-or-treaters at the worst time possible. It's these 3 little kids. One's like a pirate. We'll see them later in the film. They're one of the main stories. And the little kids, they just start screaming at him. He's like, oh no, it's not. No, it's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. And then they just start laughing at him. It's like, great costume, dude. It's like, dude, it's Halloween. You can chill. And they're asking for a pumpkin for a scavenger hunt. And he's like, yeah, just take one, whatever. Get out of here. And we learn that he's their principal, and he's Principal Stevens.
Good guy.
Yeah, real cool guy. Hey, he's got a good relationship with his son, kind of. And then like they leave, and then we see a little kid in a ragged costume, which we'll later. Well, I don't think they ever say that his name's Sam, but we know that his name is Sam just based off.
How do you know his name's Sam?
I guess it's from the short story, and I guess the comic book, and maybe the director just told everybody his name's Sam. Sam's like the only reason I'd want to have a kid.
Maybe it's in the credits, I guess.
I just want to dress up a kid as Sam. Like, have a kid, dress
gosh,
him
that's
as.
or like a really good Chucky or something.
Yeah, I mean, oh, dude.
Sam though, man, yeah, that was pretty.
The kids,
God,
like,
that's
if I had a
terrifying.
kid, they'd be like, can I go as like a Paw Patrol character? And they'd be like, no, it's going to be gruesome and you're going to be something rad. It's like, you can't dress up as kid stuff. You're dressing up because I want you to dress up, not because you want to dress up.
My son got this badass like mask and a glove kind
Mhm.
of combo. It's like a ice lich skeleton dude. It's fucking cool.
Yeah. Do your kids love Halloween?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, they're okay about it. They don't love it. I
Yeah.
don't say they
Wow.
don't really. Although the oldest daughter is making her costume from scratch.
Oh, that's
which is
awesome.
kind of cool.
Well, she's got to like it a little bit.
Yeah.
The other kids just throw them out.
Yeah.
So we're back to the girls. The three girls are leaving for a party while Lori tries to find a date by herself. And then we're back to Principal Stevens. He's trying to bury that kid's body in a hole in the backyard. We see that there's also like two other bodies back there.
Yeah, he's been busy.
And then his son interrupts him. Hey, Dad, you're going to help me carve some jack-o'-lanterns? Why am I talking like that? And he's like, oh, can I go with you to the party or whatever? He's like, just go inside. Stop yelling. Go watch Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's an asshole. You watch your language. There's like, go inside. I'll help you carve a pumpkin. It's like, don't forget to help me with the eyes.
Oh man.
Oh, this kid is so cute though.
Yeah, he is kind of cute. I just thought it was so funny. Dad's just like, I'm trying to bury some bodies back
Yeah,
here.
right.
Give me a minute.
So Stevens is still trying to bury the body when a dog starts barking at him. So he decides he's going to cut off a finger of the corpse and throw it at the dog. Then his neighbor comes out. You done crapping? Neighbor is played by Brian Cox, and he rules.
Yeah, he's cool.
So the kid is still alive and starts making noise. The neighbor starts yelling at him. It's like, hey, you freak, I got a gun. It's like, dude, it's not your backyard. It's like, it could just be your neighbor. Why are you so upset?
Mind your own business.
Right. He's trying to kill the kid, but his son starts yelling down at him again and asks if he can go to the parade with him. His dad gets very serious and says, no, Daddy's got a date. And he's like, go back inside. I'll help you with the pumpkin. Then he says again, don't forget to help me with the eyes. I love that line. I don't know why. When Steven goes inside, he sees his neighbor. He's like, starts to go inside after he finished burying all these bodies and just planted one tree there. It's like, how many years do you plan on doing this?
Did he have a bunch of other trees buried in his yard?
No, just the one. So it must be his first time. I don't know. So he's going to go up back inside the house to help his kid. He's like trash talking his kid the whole time. And then as he's walking up to the house, he sees that the neighbor's like banging on the window.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
Forgot about
screw you. And then it looks like the neighbor gets attacked a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
We'll probably won't find the conclusion to that story. His son, he's looking for his son Billy, and Billy scares him. And it's like, oh, let's go carve pumpkins downstairs. They walk downstairs. It looks like Steven is going to stab his son.
Yeah.
And he makes a swiping motion, and it sounds like classic, like being stabbed noises. And then, like, camera pans down, and we see that his son is still alive. And then it's like we see that it's the kid says, "Don't forget to help me with the eyes."
Oh my God,
and we see that it's like the chubby kid from earlier, Charlie.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love it. I was like, oh, snap. When I first watched it, I was like, it's this type of movie. Let's go. We out here killing people. It's like, I didn't know we were going to get to chopping off kids' heads.
Yeah. That's what principals do.
Well, it's like watching the It that came out
The newer
a few years ago. Yeah, the newer ones with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. Whenever it opened and they just like, spoilers for It, whatever, everybody's seen it. And they just bite the kid's arm off. The very beginning, I was like, oh, snap. We out here killing kids. I didn't know this was going to be this type of horror movie. It's like, duh, Jesse. It's like the whole thing's about that. It's like I'm such an idiot sometimes. So we cut to the three kids that were trick-or-treating at Principal Stevens. They're still looking for more pumpkins. They go to another house. It's like the teacher's one of their teachers' houses, and it's like this huge party, and they're all like drunk. The teacher's like, "Y'all want a drink? I won't tell."
Oh god.
And then they look back into the party, and you got like someone in a hot dog costume, like grinding on a pig.
Yes.
And they're like, "We just need a jack-o'-lantern. Can we have one?" They're like, "Yeah, whatever, go." And then one of the kids like, "What did we just see?" It's like Coach Taylor was in a hot dog costume, but fucking a pig.
Yes.
It's so funny.
So awesome.
Then we have a fourth guy comes up. It's Handsome McHandsome Kid. He has 3 pumpkins. And they go to another kid's house. The house has a ton of pumpkins. They call her an idiot servant.
Oh, yeah.
They
Very nice.
obviously aren't friends with her, but she's still coming with them. She's kind of the little nerdy
So
kid.
happy to get out of the house.
Right? And we got the older boy. He's like charming her to make her feel comfortable. And we cut to the town square. We see a couple making out. It's getting hot and heavy in this back alley.
Dang, so many people just making out.
Yeah. The guy's like making weird noises, like, like the grossest noises you can hear. And as they're making
I
out,
will have to say, I think that all like teenagers make that noise when they're about to make
this
out.
is like it's the older guy. This is Principal Stevens, and he's kind of sounding like a pig a little bit. It's because he's got fake teeth in, so he's having a hard time probably like kissing and breathing and looking.
Yeah.
So, but the girl notices that there's blood coming down her shoulder, and we see that the guy bit her neck. He's a vampire.
Wait, so Mr. Stevens is a vampire.
No, he's a fake vampire. He's just
But
got
he's
fake
still
teeth.
biting.
Yeah, he's out there pretending to be a vampire.
He's just getting real into it.
He's a real crazy person.
I love it. All right.
The girl, she's trying to escape but can't. She runs into some people. It's the people at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, "Don't worry about her. She's just drunk." And we see that there's people in a similar costume, like, with blood all over them. Yeah. And so he ends up catching her and then just lays her next to a bunch of drunk people.
Yeah. He just sits her down like a foot next to this other person and just like slowly closes her eyes.
They're schmammered, man. They can't get up.
And they don't even like, I don't know. It's just, I guess.
They're too lit. Everybody's lit.
Too lit.
So then we're back to the 5 kids that are walking. The weird girls explain Samhain, which is essentially just Halloween and the tradition of it, and it like predates Christianity and stuff like that.
Sweet.
The pirate kid that's like next to her is like, "What?"
He's like, "Arr."
Arg, you're weirder. I don't know what is that. Gotta remember on recording myself and stop being so weird. So they arrive at this weird rock quarry. They are there to pay their respects to the dead.
To the rocks.
Yeah. Apparently, way back in the day, a school bus driver was hired by parents to drive special needs kids off the rock quarry. When the school bus driver tries to do this, one of the kids notices that they're not supposed to be there, and he escapes these chains because they're like all these kids are like chained up to in the bus seats. And as the guy's going around giving them candy, because the parents wanted all these kids to die because they're embarrassed about them.
Whoa.
And I'm sure it's like too much money or whatever, I guess, to keep them. And they're just
bad parents.
They're just bad parents.
Yeah.
Bad parents.
Yeah.
So they hire this guy to get them. And so he's going around like giving them like one last trick or treat before he's going to drive them off the quarry. And so, but one of the kids notices, like he's like noticed before, is like, wrong way.
Dracula boy.
Wrong. Yeah, Dracula boy. Their costumes are kind of scary.
They're kind of cool.
Especially the brown bag head that just has the giant mouth on it.
Yeah.
Something's so unnerving about that.
Cool
I don't know why.
shit.
So the bus driver is handing out candy, and one of the vampire kid breaks loose and is like, wrong way, and then just drives straight off into the rock quarry. And they're saying like, the bus driver apparently escaped, never to be seen again. And then we got the great shot of Mask coming up from the water.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
That was pretty cool.
Then you got the guy crawling out,
Yeah.
and I'm sure we won't see him later. So back to the kids telling the story.
I thought you didn't see him till later because I only remember seeing the mask float up.
I said we won't see him later. This story ends right here.
Oh, okay.
It's a joke. It's a bad one, but it's a joke.
Oh.
It's a thing that I keep doing for some reason because I think it's hilarious. So the kids don't believe her. They're going to go down to the side of the lake to leave jack-o'-lanterns for each of the victims. They all go down the elevator except the weird girl and the pirate kid. They say they can't fit. So then we're
It's
back
a
to
weird, creepy elevator.
Yeah, I know. It's like as a kid, I'd be like,
No.
actually, this isn't fun. I'm going home. We probably shouldn't even walk this far. So we're back to Lori trying to find a date. She's like looking like, oh, here, there's a cute guy in a centaur costume. The butt comes off. It's like, why'd you put the girl as the butt? That's so mean. I'd be like, honey, no. Like, we're not doing this. I'm not going to be the butt of your centaur.
That's hilarious.
And then she sees this, looks like a giant buff dude that's like a Viking, turns around, it's a giant buff girl as a Viking. So she goes to sit alone on a bench and gets a call from Danielle. Said she found her a date, and it's like he's young, and it's just like a guy in a baby costume. He's like acting weird. And then while she's on the phone, we see the vampire guy takes notice of her. And then we're back to the kids. And then at the time, this is where we hear like wolves howling.
Oh, okay.
And the kids like, oh, werewolves. And so then we go, the pirate guy and the weird girl, they're going down on the lift. They hear the other three are talking, and like you can just see their pumpkins lit up from the fog. It's a great shot. And they start acting like they're getting attacked.
Hell yeah.
So
It's
the
wild.
the girl goes to tells the pirate kids like, hey, stay by the pumpkins, they'll protect you. She goes to investigate. She sees the school bus out in the lake or whatever.
Sticking out of the mud.
Yeah. And like there's mask in the water, but it's obviously the other kid's mask, not the actual mask.
No.
Her leg gets grabbed by what appears to be a zombie.
The leg zombies.
One of the zombies is eating the pirate kid's insides. They chase the girl and she loses her glasses. They step on it and then she falls in a hole and hits her head on the rock.
Oh.
So gross. So rough. Such a rough landing.
Ow. Squish.
The mean girl's like, oh, it was going so well. And we see that the group of kids were pranking her. The older kids say they need to leave. The older girl is getting pissed because she wanted to keep scaring her. So they start to hear noises, and it turns out that the kids are actually coming back to life for real.
Fuck yeah.
They're all getting attacked. The kids are all like slimy and gross looking. The other kids are trying to escape, but the girl, her name's actually Rhonda. I don't know why I keep calling her the weird kid. Rhonda gets into the lift. The kids are like, let us in, let us in.
They're getting
Give us the key.
She just goes
And
up.
then she just stares at him and goes up. Rhonda's straight ruthless. She don't play none. So she gets up to the top of the rock quarry, and then we see Sam. They kind of just like look at each other and like nod, just like, my work here is done.
He's like going down.
And then I guess Sam goes to look down. I'm assuming he's just going to go talk to him. Like, yo, what up? What up, guys? What y'all been up to? And then we're back with Lori. She's walking alone in the woods. She hears sound walking behind her. We see that it's the vampire guy. We see the other girls at the party drinking. For some reason, there's no guys around anymore. She can take care of like the one girl's like, oh, she can take care of herself. And then the blonde girl is like, Mom always said she was the runt of the litter. Still, as in high school, I still did not grasp that they were going to be werewolves. And I feel like it's so obvious now.
Yeah, but a lot of people say that.
Yeah. And then the vampire attacks her and she screams. And then we cut back to the party, and then we see like a red body like wrapped up in her little cloak fall. And it's like, oh no, she might be dead. Seems like it might be Lori, but it's actually the vampire guy.
Dude.
Yeah, asking for help. Help.
Help me, scary ladies.
Lori comes out with a bite on her neck. It's like, you told me to play hard to get. They're all acting like it's normal. One of the girls takes out his fake vampire teeth, and we see it's Principal Stevens.
She picked up a much older gentleman.
Yes. Who are you people? And then we see shots of all the guys dead.
Yeah.
He starts screaming. Then we see all the girls, like Marilyn Manson's. What's the song that comes on?
The Beautiful People, or is it? Want to fuck you like an animal?
No, that's 9 Inch Nails. So the Marilyn Manson song.
What is it?
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, that was cool. It was a sweet sequence.
I think it was that one. Oh God, people.
Whatever it was.
My wife is gonna kill me.
It was awesome.
She's gonna be like, I can't believe you didn't know that. And they're all drinking, and then they start like taking their
Dude,
clothes off.
yeah.
And then Anna Paquin's like,
No, it's a party.
"It's my first time, so bear with me." And they're turning into werewolves, and it's in the coolest way.
It is
Like
cool.
them like cutting their skin open
Yeah.
and ripping it off to reveal that they're werewolves.
This is
so
It was
rad.
badass. This is one of my top 5 skin rips
Yeah,
scenes.
it's so good. Like they look like they're gonna take off like their stockings, but they just rip off their entire
the
leg.
legs. I wonder if this is the first movie to ever do that. Because I'd seen it in another show
Yeah,
where a dude turns into a werewolf, but I don't think it was made until after this movie came out.
I'm trying to think. Usually, it's they don't rip their skin off. It's always their
it just
skin
kinda
forms
changed.
into.
Right.
I
So,
think this is. It's not the coolest transformation. That will always go to American Werewolf in London. And
I'm not,
what's the vampire movie? It's like it's a vampire. Oh my gosh! I think it's the original Fright Night. I believe.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I haven't
I
seen
don't
that
think
one
it
either.
is. I'm sorry, Natalie.
But I think as
I'm
far as
sorry.
my favorite skin rip was from that fucking Silent Hill movie where he rips that girl's skin off. That was sweet.
Oh, the Pyramid Head guy.
Yeah.
I
think this one's my second favorite.
So Steven gets eaten. Sam is watching on because they're all just like eating him.
Sam is getting around.
Yeah, Sam's just like, hell yeah, let's go, y'all. We getting savage up in this town. The only issue I have with this whole scene is that everything is so practical. But then she goes to do her howl as Lori does before she eats them, and then just does like one silly little CGI face, and it's like, what are we doing here? She looked fine.
The puppets, though.
Yeah,
I thought that
they look so
goofy. Were
goofy.
Goofy as hell.
Yeah, they definitely are a little janky, but I think that's kind of what I like about it.
Totally a guy with his hand inside of a wolf face.
Yeah,
like
it's
the werewolf
awesome.
Face.
You're saying nothing but good things in my head. Like you haven't said a bad thing about this movie yet.
It looked off. I don't know.
No, I definitely get it. There is like a little like you can see. It's like maybe if they had a little more budget, it might have looked a little better. But
I guess
I think it's just I would take that over CGI any day though.
Sure.
Right? Because we watched Cursed, the movie that has Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg. It's like a werewolf movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's like there's some parts where they have the practical werewolf, and then but then they'll have the CGI, and it looks so terrible. And it's like, just do it, man. Just go for the practicality of it. Yep, whatever. So then we see a title card that says earlier. We're at an old man's house. It's Mr. Kreeg, whatever we call him. Kreeg.
Kid loves kids.
Yeah, he gets some kids at his door, and then we see like these like little lights. Looks like from an animal, like chasing the kids. They scare him off.
Scary ass.
We see
dog.
It's the old man. He steals the kids' candies. We see him burning some old photos. He seems to hate Halloween because he's watching a TV show and he starts changing, and he gets upset that there's always like a horror movie on or something. He starts hearing noises, and his dog starts barking. We see that the gates opened up a little bit from outside, and then someone eggs his house. And we can't tell if it's Sam or not, but I think it might be. He grabs a baseball bat. Spike is outside barking, and we see this is happening when Principal Stevens is burying the kids. So it's kind of just from that earlier of the night.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the old man from earlier.
All the people, they kind of all live on the same street.
I think people... it seems like everything goes through the street. That's for sure. Yeah, but it's everybody that lives on the street. Like, because
They're all just murderers.
the neighbors with the crazy decorations, like the girl that hates Halloween, she lives in front of them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected. So he gets. I already said that. We see someone is watching him. He goes back in the house. Someone is trying to get into his door. He goes to chase them off, but his yard is filled with pumpkins. He's getting ready to smash it, and then he hears like something behind him in his house. It seems someone is now upstairs. He grabs his gun. He sees a figure run across the hall. Then we hear the worst part of the movie, the sound of a dog dying.
Oh,
it's the worst part. It's really like.
But then You see,
He goes to investigate. He's goes up and we see something in his room, like underneath his covers that's
Yeah.
rattling, and it's just like it's a little hand that says trick or treat on it.
And he cuts his leg.
Yeah, and
Just
then,
like in
well, he turns around and he sees that the song "Trick or Treat, Smell My Feet" is written all over his
Yes.
walls. Yeah, and then he gets him right in the Achilles heel, right?
Yeah, just like Pet
Essentially.
Cemetery.
Yeah, man, that's literally one of the worst
That's
things
terrifying.
to view in a movie,
Yeah.
right? Because you got it in Hostel. They do it, and he does both of them, and it's
And like there was a
the
story
worst.
at UT campus in Knoxville where a dude was in the parking garage doing this to people.
Oh my god, that's insane. Ugh, we just need to learn how to teleport, so we never need parking garages. So after he gets his leg cut, we see that it's our boy Sam, the coolest kid in town. So we see that he has a giant candy bar. He starts to unpeel it, and it's got a giant blade in it. It's so good.
It's so.
I just love how this movie like ties in all the, legends and stuff of Halloween. Like,
this one was the coolest.
it's so good. Old man tries to shoot Sam, him, but he misses. He chases Sam through the house, but then we see like the house is booby trapped. There's candy, razor blades, glass all over the stairs, and he's like, he puts his hands down in it, and he's like,
Doesn't he fall down the stairs?
Yeah, he falls down,
and then he lands
everything.
on all the glass and razor blades.
Bro, it's so rough.
His hands are fucked.
It's like I like this because it's Home Alone. It's Halloween Home Alone now.
Yeah.
It's so great. So the old man is trying to escape, but behind him we see Sam crawling on the ceiling. Above.
Yeah.
It looks so stupid. I love it, but like you can tell it's like green screen or like CGI. And whenever you do see like the wider shot of Sam, it's obviously obviously a grown up pretending to be a kid
wearing footy pajamas.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's just you can tell it's a stunt double. It's so silly. And then he attacks him. The old man gets the upper hand, and we see him yelling for his neighbor like we did in the beginning of the movie. And then Sam attacks again. He pulls, the old man's able to pull off his mask, and we see it's a little pumpkin boy. It looks so cute.
Oh, God, it's terrifying.
It's so adorable. I love it. It's terrifying.
Adorable.
Me, I'm like, oh.
He's not adorable.
No one told me he was a handsome little fella.
No, put the bag back on.
Old man is eventually able to shoot Sam in the head.
Blammo.
He shoots him 2 more times and also blows off his hand.
Yeah. And pumpkin goo comes out of his face.
He goes to call 911, but the phone gets disconnected. We hear we hear running, and it sounds like Sam is still alive. But then he turns around,
and it's Thing's cousin.
And he's like, "Oh wait, Sam is still alive. Well, Sam is still there." Then he turns back around, and then there's hand stabbing him right in his foot. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. But in the beautiful way that Brian Cox says it.
Yeah.
So we see that the hand, it goes back to Sam and wakes him up. He's like, hey,
I love how the hand is crawling along.
Yeah, it's like a Cousin It, right?
Yeah, well, Cousin It runs on his fingers.
Yeah, that's true.
Or no, that's Thing. Cousin It's the hairy guy.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, but no, he's just kind of like dragging by its fingertips.
Yeah, it's so
cool.
cute and cool. The hand reattaches itself to Sam. Sam bites into a lollipop that we seen earlier in the film that ends up in the blonde girl's face.
He uses that as a knife.
It looks like he's about to stab the old man, but then he just stabs a candy bar. And he takes a bite and leaves.
So this candy bar, was that one that he was going to eat like earlier when the kids showed up?
I don't know.
Like he stole that candy?
I guess he did. I'd assume it's probably something like that.
And all this little kid wanted was some candy.
He just wanted some candy. Or
candy without razor blades.
We might find out he had something else in mind. Because we see after that, after Sam leaves, we see in the fire a picture, like the pictures that he was burning. It's the
bus driver.
It's the bus driver and all the dead kids. He was the driver. Oh my God. A later title card pops up. The old man is much nicer to trick or treats. He's badly beaten up. The kids think that he's a mummy. And so after they leave, we see Billy, the little kid, hanging out, like Principal Stevens' son. We see him hanging out on the front porch waiting for his dad. It's really sad because he's wearing his suit, his little shirt and everything.
Aww.
Really hurt. We see Rhonda. She's heading back home with her pumpkin, and she almost like gets hit by the car that we
Teenagers.
saw earlier, and it's the
The
it's
werewolf girls,
the
right?
werewolf girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like, "Yeah, we just
They're
ate boys,"
howling at the moon. Or barking at the moon.
and then we see Sam. He's staring at the old man, and then he looks across the street, and we see the couple from earlier in the film. After she blows out the pumpkin, he starts walking across the street to her. The old man goes back into his house and immediately gets a knock at the door. He opens up, and it's the kids from the school bus. They attack. The
That's
effing
cool.
in.
That's such a fun Halloween movie.
It's a perfect movie, except for a few spots. It's like, I love anthology movies. Let's go ahead and get into the good, the bad, the ugly, and the fine. It's our first category. It's where the good is we say something we like about the film, something that we find good. The bad is something we didn't like about the film. The ugly is something we don't think aged very well. And the fine is something that did age well. Would you like to go first, or would you like for me to go
Good,
first?
wholesome Halloween fun.
Yeah, that's what aged the best, or that's what the good is.
The good. That's my good.
So I guess for my good, I will say the character Sam. That costume
that's
rules,
cool.
and the fact that he ends up.
And it has a butt flap.
Yeah, it does have a butt flap because he's got to poop out his pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it's just how well the director Michael Dougherty, whatever his name is. I just want to say Daughtry because of the band Daughtry.
Sure.
Or the singer Daughtry, but who I don't like his music. I hope he doesn't listen. So, sorry, I'm going crazy. The director is able to. He's able to capture the spirit of the season so well, even in Krampus, right?
Yeah.
Like he does such a good job with capturing Christmas, and he's just very good with the environment and the extras. I don't know. It's
He's
just
kind of making these stories come to life.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
I mean, like even when we saw all this horrible things happen, I want to go to that town. Like that town just looked perfect for Halloween. I don't know. Just the way he directs the seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little silly, but
you're right. No,
I'm having trouble explaining it. But he's just such a good director when it comes to environments and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's totally, fall. It's obviously it's just beautiful fall. And
yeah, like I watched. Like we're in Tennessee, and we have fall for like 3 days, and then it's just cold and wet all the time. It's like we never get like a nice fall day. It's either hot and then it immediately goes to wet and rainy, or wet and cold. So what's the bad? What's something that you didn't really like about it? I guess the puppets of the werewolves.
Throwing up part.
You didn't like that?
No, because it reminded me of the time I found medication in my bag.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is really gross.
Man, I really dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, that'd have been awful.
Could have just been
either that is just you just had low blood pressure for a day because it's probably someone's blood pressure medication. Yeah. I think the worst part of the movie is I don't know. I mean, I guess the dog dying. Yeah. Just hearing a dog die, it makes me sad.
Dogs don't need to die.
Especially
except for my dog.
Because I think Sam's like a real cool guy.
I want to kill my dog.
Oh my God. So we're going to break for silence. I'm just going to restart. Okay. Or I'm just going to have to try to edit that out with him laughing.
Sorry.
You like your dog.
He's being for real.
You like your dog.
I love my dog.
Yeah.
Who will live a long, healthy life.
God, he's so pissed off over there. All right, something that didn't age well. I'm just gonna go say you're hating your dog didn't age well.
Yeah,
immediately as you said it.
I called that girl a retard. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Maybe just say hardware. Yeah,
kids.
That's no good, very bad, kids. Like, sheesh, we don't say that anymore.
You're so mean.
But in the 2000s, kids would just say that back in the day. But that is
my mother-in-law still says it.
Yeah, it's rough stuff. That's pretty much mine too. That's pretty much all I had. I think otherwise it's
awesome.
Pretty good.
Hell yeah.
So what's something that aged well?
Man, just like scary Halloween. Like, even though it's kind of cheesy sometimes, it's just like good Halloween.
I tell you what aged well. werewolves.
Yeah.
Werewolves will never die. Werewolves are the best. We don't have enough movies about them.
You're right.
We should have a werewolf movie every year. There
skin
should be like
falling
3 or
off.
4 of them. I don't get it.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
we get like a vampire movie every year.
I wish I could. I gotta look up that show and send it to you.
Yeah. Give
Where
me
like
werewolf shows.
that werewolf, his skin comes off and then he eats it.
Is it? It's not like True Blood or anything, is it?
No.
Wait, is that vampires? I've actually never seen True Blood, so I don't know.
I can't remember.
All right, so we're gonna move on to another thing that aged well. Anthologies,
Ooh,
anthology films, horror anthology. They've been great since forever.
Yeah.
What? There's the one that's like kind of Stephen King based
An
off the Stephen
anthology
King's.
just means a bunch of different stories that tie in
different
together,
stories.
kinda?
Usually, it's different directors too.
Okay.
But it's just I don't know. I just love them. You got the VHS series, all those Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt. That's anthology.
I love that. The Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Bro, that was so good. That was so
Stop
good.
It. Oh, stop it.
So we're gonna go to our next category. The double feature is where we recommend a movie to watch along with this. What you got? Got anything?
I guess if you like watching scary children, you can watch Children of the Corn.
Dun, dun, dun. That movie is crazy.
It is wild.
Zachariah, all his homies.
Mhm.
I don't know. I watched it. It's such a silly movie, but
It is
also
silly.
kids are creepy.
Kids are creepy.
Kids are creepy.
They're terrible.
If they walk slowly and have like crazy eyes, it's like now I'm good.
And it's probably like just some infection that they could always have.
Yeah, right. So I actually have a few. Creep Show 2 from back in the day.
I haven't seen any creep
I
shows.
believe that's the one with the blob in the lake. It's so good,
that
dude.
sounds pretty awesome.
I'll have to see if I can find it on YouTube and I'll send it to you. It's so good. Let's see. We got the ABCs of death are bad. The VHS series, they're mostly good. I mean, if you want, there's like 7 of them now.
Oh.
VHS Viral sucks. And the newest one just wasn't very good. But VHS 2, bro, VHS 2, Jason. So it has there's a segment of it where it's like this cult, like in a different country. And it's kind of just like a really long one shot. And there's this like, it just turns into chaos. There's summoning
Cool.
things. It's so good. It's directed by the guy. Have you ever heard of the movie The Raid, The Redemption? It's like like this foreign action movie. Well, if anybody likes The Raid or The Raid 2, and I think he made a movie on Netflix called The Apostle. Bro, this director, his name's Gareth Edwards. He's so good. Watch all his stuff. Seriously. But yeah, VHS 2 is probably my favorite. It also has like a dope little kids being abducted by aliens, but
Nice.
it's all found footage though. So if you can't handle found footage, then don't watch it.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's kind of all of them. I mean, I got a billion of them. So I don't know. Just look up anthology horror movies and see if they're any good.
I always liked movie 42, the anthology comedy.
I've never actually seen that. That's like the Farley Brothers one, I believe.
I guess. I don't know.
It's got like Hugh Jackman and he's
Yes.
got balls on his chin.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen it. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week. Thank you, Joey Prosser, for all the music.
Thank you for
the music, producing the intro.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes.
And please rate and review.
Rate, review, follow, keep listening. Listen to other episodes. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, X. And if you also want to listen to us on another platform, go to linktree/We Recommend Podcasts. You can find all our socials there, everything else. Just go there, give us a like and follow. Say, hey, what's up? On Spotify, we got the little questions where it's like, hey, what do you think of this episode? I'm trying to change those regularly.
Oh, cool.
So you can communicate with us. But yeah, tell all your friends about us and everything. And
get out this Halloween and scare some people.
Scare some people.
Kids.
Scare some kids. But make sure before that you watch our next movie, The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
One of the best horror comedies ever made.
Yeah.
Love it. Already watched it this year and I can't wait to watch it 2 more times for this. Love it. No, it's not a bad thing. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite
That's sweet.
theater
Can't wait.
experiences. Yeah, so thank you for joining us. I've been Jesse,
I'm Jason.
and this has been We Recommend. See you next week. Bye.
Smooch.
Snooch.